They say every cloud has a silver lining, and through the frustrations of a global pandemic, there is hope for this group of riders. And that hope is riding, hitting the open road for an outback adventure. Their journey will take them from the Central Coast and across New South Wales into Silverton to visit hallowed ground for any Mad Max fan. It has been 40 years since Mad Max 2 was filmed there, and the Aussie Trikers are going to make their own pilgrimage to check out the museum and ride through some of the famous filming locations.
The idea was born probably 10, 15 years ago to do a country trip and to do the Mad Max run as such, but it never eventuated.
There's nothing worse than being stuck at home or not being able to go anywhere with COVID, but you change your plans, go to the outback towns around Australia.
We were supposed to go to Europe last year, but it didn't happen, and we grabbed the opportunity and said get a few boys, a few mates together and do a road trip in our own backyard.
It's always good to ride with a group. You sort of create a bit of attention wherever you go.
People who live on the East Coast, we've just got no idea how beautiful it is out here and how good it is and what that country really has to offer.
The first leg of the journey brings the boys through Sydney, up over the Blue Mountains and into Bathurst for a lap of the Mount Panorama circuit. Then down through Cowra and into West Wyalong for the first night of camp. The Trikers arrive into Shire. Doesn't sound very exciting, but thought they'd drop in and find out what it's all about.
We like to call ourselves bland, but not boring. We are a gold mining community as well as a farming community and a thriving business centre. It's very important to have travellers coming to our town. We've been very hard hit by the drought in the past and now recently flooding. So having people come to our town, bringing their money, bringing their joy, bringing their stories of travel, it really brings life to us and we appreciate it no end.
There are some real characters in the Shire, and Steve decides to surprise one of his mates.
Today, oh my God. First of all, I heard and saw the Trikes pull up and I thought, oh my God, I wanted to stop serving.
We just dropped in and total surprise. She was ecstatic.
And then Steve walked in through the doors. He's one of my favourite people, so what a hoot.
Heather is a character and a half. Heather's been a friend of mine for about 4 years. She rode around Australia on a Fatbob Harley-Davidson towing a trailer. She wrote a book about it called Fatbob and the Blonde.
I became an empty nester and didn't suffer from empty nester syndrome. I just loaded up the Harley, got myself a camper trailer and then took off around Australia. And the last few years been transitioning it from a blog into like a business. I was looking for my own space for Fatbob and the Blonde and this hall popped up out of nowhere. And I had a look at it and it was on the Mid-Western Highway. And so I initially opened it to do tea, coffee and cake for travellers and have some handmade items from rural Australia creators because I'm really passionate about rural Australia. I've actually had to upgrade and run a cafe. And so, as most people know, I'm a motorcyclist, not hospitality. But I do have my unique customer service. So kind of keeps me out of trouble.
That's what it's all about. The characters in the bush, you can't beat them. It's not like the city people where they had trouble talking to you. They want to talk to you. They want to give you a cup of tea and enjoy your company. Drop into Wheethale and talk to her. You'll love it.
One of the attractions in the Shire is the state's first example of silo art.
It's a massive picture of a shearer shearing a sheep in a shed. It stands out from you. You swear blind you're inside the room with them. It's just a lovely sight. It's beautifully well kept, lovely spot to view it from. We took some great photos there. Then we travelled on to Hay and we'd seen another one, memorising the blokes who went to war in the Second World War. That was very, very touching. It was very impressive, yeah.
The next leg takes the Aussie Trikers through the Hay Plains and down into Balranald.
The country opens up to really plain country, right what you'd call the Great Western Plain country. It's short, scrubby, spinifex type grass, salt bush and, you know, scattered trees, but mostly a very flat area, sort of suited more for sheep and cattle grazing.
We're now in the right middle of New South Wales country in Balranald.
We're camped on the Murrumbidgee River. Beautiful view here. The bird life's unbelievable.
After all the rain and all the wet weather we had, the country is fully alive.
We're just visiting Balranald today, going to check the area out and see what's here to see.
A must-see in Balranald is the Southern Cross Museum. It is run by a group of enthusiastic history buffs that are more than happy to share their wealth of knowledge.
The theme of the building is transport.
We started off that we had no help from anybody. We just put it up, and then as donations flowed in, we gradually built it up.
It's coming together slowly. We thought originally it would take us 10 years to put it together, but everything's going quite well.
A lot of it has been collected. Some of us we've chucked a little bit of money in and bought, like one of the original Singer sewing machines that went into a cabinet. We got some old trucks out the back. We've got an old saw blade out there from a mill.
We've got the 2 planes of Kingford Smith. The big plane, the Southern Cross, was made for Channel 7, and it made a 6-part series called 1,000 Skies, which tells the life story of Kingford Smith. The second plane is the Lady Southern Cross.
The Lady Southern Cross was one Kingford Smith disappeared in. The only part ever found of that was a wheel and a wheel strut, which washed up on the Eyre Island near Burma.
We've got hundreds of transports that come through the town every day. It all makes a difference with people coming in and donating, and helps us pay our way, keeps us here.
From Balranald, it's a 5-hour ride up to the great outback city of Broken Hill.
She ain't mine, but she look fine. Gonna take some time, gonna make her mine, gonna make her mine. I'm the man, I got the plan. When it hits the fan, do all I can, do all I can. When she lets her hair down, she drives me wild, and she looks in my eyes. Hell yeah!
From Balranald, we had a good run in actually. Last 100k, there's not a lot to see. Just keep an eye out for the goats and the odd bush chook, but the goats are pretty bad up this way at the minute.
Oh, it's a great ride, you know, to cruise along with the trikes with your mates in big open straight roads.
Yeah, you're riding in and there's nothing, and then all of a sudden you see the small cities start to appear in front of you, and that's pretty good getting back here again.
Broken Hill is quite a treasure trove of different experiences. It's the longest existing mining town in Australia. The Royal Flying Doctors have a fantastic base here. They're actually #1 on TripAdvisor in terms of the attractions in far west New South Wales. There's a lot of public art around as well, but the living desert sculptures are very famous as well, just 12 k's out of town. It's in a state park, beautiful view. It's such a rich area with so many different things, so everybody can find something they enjoy.
We started this morning with the Miners' Memorial.
Great view up there at the Miners' Memorial, overlooking the city of Broken Hill. And there's a lot of old machinery that they had from the early mining days there on display.
Worked in most of the mines most of my life in Western Australia, coming in and seeing that to sort of bring back memories of the dirt and the machinery and stuff.
Actually quite eerie feeling and touching with all the photos and how many deaths they had there. Like it's an eye opener going through there. It's yeah, more than what you think. From there we carried on and we visited the base of the Royal Flying Doctors and ended up doing a tour around there.
That was a fantastic tour. To know what they do, how they look after people, the history, when it all started, what they do for people.
I'm all for the Flying Doctors. I've got a lot of time for them and what they do. Sort of, again, having worked in the outback of Western Australia, they're fantastic set up in the way they run.
For what we provide to the regional and remote communities in Australia and how we deliver those with our planes that are so small in size but packed full of advancements. Our planes can land on dirt runways, on unsealed strips, and it is like a little mini operating theatre inside that, you know, to handle the patients and the traumas that we come across.
As a flight nurse, we're on call for 12 hours a day. We carry a phone with us and we can be called at any moment to do anything and to go anywhere.
A few years back I was lucky enough to, not lucky but unlucky to have to use their service from Cobar PD to Adelaide after I did a bit of damage to myself, and yeah, you don't mind giving back and even seeing what those people are about.
For anyone who's travelling through Broken Hill, we would love for you to come out here and see us at the RFDS. We want to show you guys what it is we're doing here for the community, for everyone in the area. A lot of people have heard about the RFDS but don't quite understand in depth what it is we're actually doing here and the service we're providing. So we want to tell you as much as we can all about it, and we can't wait for you to come out here.
See ya, bye.
When we went for lunch, we went about 15 k's out of town, and it was this, you'd really call it a brand new resort, out in the middle of nowhere.
Unbelievable, like a little Vegas type thing in the middle of nowhere.
We had a couple of beers, a couple of cordials, a couple of pizzas, and checked out the area out there.
It's a nice setup out there. He's done a very good job of setting it up. Hope he can tap into the tourist industry and create a bit of a name out there for himself.
After having lunch in the old done-up pub, we went to the Living Desert where they got the sculptures and everything.
Pretty interesting the way some sculptors' minds worked. I can't understand what they come at and why, but yeah, it's sort of something different.
Just being on top of the hill there, seeing the whole size of this area, it's just mind-blowing. And we haven't even gone to our final destination yet, so we're still on our way for the highlight of our tour, but it keeps getting better every day. There's just so much character in this town and so many things to see and to do. You could easily spend a week here and haven't seen it all.
It's just a short 25 kilometres out to Silverton from Broken Hill.
Mama told me, girl, don't you see, there ain't nobody gonna take from me. Daddy said to live your life, going hard down on your rights. You got to give all your heart if you want to. You got to give all your heart if you want to. You got to give all your heart if you want to. Be set free.
Here we are in Silverton, Mad Max country. Silverton's an old silver mining town. It's about 23 kilometres north of Broken Hill.
Apparently there was 30,000 people there at one stage in its heyday. Now I think it's about 40. The museum there, which is in the old courthouse, is a must-see for anyone that goes out there. And of course, the Silverton Hotel, beautifully set out, very welcoming there.
The hotel's been here a long time. This particular building that we're looking at behind us was built in 1884.
and the pub has been operating in there since 1918. Even though we might be 25 k's out of a major town, to a lot of city folk, they could be in the middle of Australia. So it creates that atmosphere, and we work hard at it, and it's very popular. Look, it's probably 10 years ago, but Johan was here with his bike and we're all admiring it, and he jumps on and straps his wheelie on beside him, and all the others took off nice and sedately. But what do you have to do? Bloody circle work all over the place. And then I noticed yesterday when he was out here, I wasn't sure who it was, but we had a bit more circle work, and I had a look on my video surveillance, and what gave him away was his wheelchair, and I said, Johan's back, here we go.
Silverton is home to one of Australia's most iconic artists.
I've been out here 35 years, but born and bred in Broken Hill. I've been an artist for nearly 50 years. I'm called the Emu Man, but I do a lot of landscapes and rivers and flowers and a lot of rusty tin. I've painted that many bloody emus. I dream about them and they attack me in my sleep, and yeah, and I paint them in my sleep.
We know here at the Mad Max Museum where there's a lot of memorabilia about Mad Max 2, and where all the filming locations are, where we will visit some of the places later today.
A brilliant film for its day back then, and I think every person of my age really can relate to it.
The museum's been open now for 10.5 years. We opened in September 2010, and it actually is a result of a passion that I've had for Mad Max 2 for nearly 40 years now. When I first saw the movie back in the UK back in '82, that was the reason that I came here to Silverton to specifically put some kind of display together. I didn't know what at the time, but when we got here we realised how things would work, so we put this together, yeah. Initially when we came here I had very little, and it was a case of really putting my faith in other people's generosity and hoping that they would come together, you know, crew members, Broken Hill locals, and that's really how the whole thing came together. When news got out what I was doing here, people were quite forthcoming. I mean, it wasn't thick and fast, but over time you'd get some of the locals would come up and say, look, you know, I've saved this from the film, or you know, I ended up with a buggy after the movie, would you like to put it on display? I mean, it's taken 10 years to get to the point we're at now, but that's really how the collection came together. I think for me, even though it's one of the smaller pieces, I have a soft spot for the boomerang, the original boomerang, and the little music box that the feral kid had. If it was a case of having to grab something and run in case of emergency, those would be the two things I think I'd grab. I mean, everything to me is special. We've got original things as well, including the wreck of the Interceptor, which was the double car. There were 2 Interceptors on this film, and a few other original vehicles as well. We do have the gyrocopter that we put back together, that were left over as well. But most of the muscle cars, unfortunately, were destroyed in the film. And the few that weren't destroyed in the film went to the Speedway and got destroyed at the Speedway. So we've replicated those. Still very rare cars we've used as well, but we've got them as close as we can, so at least people can see what the vehicles look like in the film.
Oh, look how good's this. Come all this way and see all those things, and some of those photos and signatures and stuff you see, it's absolutely magnificent, you know, like you think to yourself, gee, how good would you drive one of them, and you recognise the cars, you recognise the stunts. Wow, I'm so happy that we actually came.
I wouldn't mind getting my hands on a few and putting them in my shed and actually restoring them. They'd be worth a fortune, but, you know, just to see what they went through to sort of put the cars and all the machines and that together, it's just, yeah, boggles the mind. It's just, yeah, how do they dream this stuff up?
on a property in Silverton. The owners there have allowed me to build nearly a full-size version of the Mad Max 2 compound. That's for the 40th anniversary of Mad Max 2, which we're holding next March 2022. So I'm about 3/4 of the way through it now. I've had to kind of back off a little bit from it while we're busy here in the museum, but as soon as we're quieting off a little bit here after the holidays, I'll be back over there to carry on. So that's going to be fantastic. So we'll have people there in costumes. So far we've got about 40 Mad Max vehicles that are coming here as well. So people will be able to sleep at the compound and reenact, you know, scenes from the film. So, but that's I'm really excited about that. I'll be excited to get back over and get back into it.
If you get the chance to come out here, it's well worth it.
You get to the Mundi lookout and you just look across and it's just, like if you're hoofing across the country and you got to that rise and you look, you'd be just daunted. It was a hell of a view.
You can almost see the curve of the Earth's surface. It's that far you can see.
We're here now in the real Mad Max country at the Mundi Plains Lookout, and that's where a lot of the scenes were shot for Mad Max 2. Actually, we just went for a little ride down the road, and that's where they rolled the tanker and had a lot of the crashes filmed.
Hey now, baby, I'm a-moving with your vibration. Hey now, baby, got me losing my concentration. Hey now, baby, won't you leave me with my frustration? Hey, 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 never mind what I just said. Hey, 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 it's only voices in my head. Hey, 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 girl, you got me seeing red. You drive me crazy.
To see where the actual footage was shot was really good.
It's actually quite inspiring to actually ride the road where the actual filming took place. It's a great experience.
We've lived in Docklands for quite a long time. We have a trike hire business, so a bit the same as renting a car. You rent a trike, you need a motorcycle licence, and we have Kermit, which I'm sitting on right now, and we're quite happy to lease it out to people for the day or for the week. Kermit's a boom trike, comes all the way from Germany, fully imported. They're very popular in Europe. Here in Australia, there's around about 100 of these things. It's got a 1.6 Peugeot motor. It's a 4-speed automatic gearbox. You hold the handlebars and it just goes. It's quite a quick machine. They sit quite low to the road. On the back at the moment, there's my closing bag. My lovely lady Joanne, she quite happy sits on the back there. We've got microphones in our helmets and she quite easily goes to sleep. So that's how comfortable it is.
The one I've got is a manual 5-speed with a 1600 Ford motor in it. They are just a magnificent machine to ride on. They're so comfortable, so relaxing. They handle any type of surface with ease. You arrive safely and you arrive very comfortable. Your back's good and everything else is right. So it's guaranteed a great ride on a boom trike.
This is one of the latest models, which is a 2-litre Ford Mondeo with turbo. Or it goes if you want it to go, but you could lose your licence very quick if you're not careful.
Heading back east, it's a couple of 100 k's into Wilcannia for a fuel stop.
Wilcannia is the central town in the Central Darling Shire, which is the largest shire in the state, 23,000 square kilometres. Originally it was developed as a waypoint on the river, and as the river trade between the states developed in the late 1800s,
the town developed, and you'll see most of the sandstone buildings here were built around that time. There's always been an issue with the, shall we say, the reputation of the town. And you'll find if you stopped in Cobar and stopped at the wrong place, they'll say don't stop in Wilcannia. It's a case of make up your own mind, and we're finding that the people that are coming through now are better educated as to what the world is like and dealing with other places around the world, and they're looking at things in a different light. And so we're seeing a lot more caravans. There are days when, middle of the season, when you can't find a parking spot down this road. It's a town that's seen better days, and we hope we'll see better ones again.
After fueling up, it's on to Whitecliffs for a very different country town experience.
Whitecliff's one of those places you go there and there's nothing really to see, but you've got to go there to see what is there.
My husband owns a sheep station, so we live out on a farm, and when we first moved here, the general store come up for sale, so I bought the shop and he does the sheep. There's probably only about 100 permanent residents, more come in winter. A lot of people go away for summer. About 90% of the people live underground. Sometime it can get up to 48, 50 degrees, so underground it's about 21 degrees all year round, so that's probably the biggest difference out here.
If you get a chance, you've got to go into some of the underground homes and have a look.
It's mind-blowing, to tell you the truth. I just did not believe what's in there. It's just amazing what she's done. She's created a fantastic home underground.
It's probably the best dugout in Whitecliffs, and it's a couple's house, private home, very artistic lady, and she's got all sorts of very odd sculptures, I should say.
Her skills are interior design. You can see every corner you go around. It's very artistic.
The front of the house is above ground or out on a ledge, and the rest of it is all underground, all old workings from when the Opals were dug, their shafts, and they've turned it into their house. It is amazing.
To describe how she made it from nothing into what she's got now, just unbelievable.
Marvellous what they've created with all the tunnels, different directions.
They've painted it up like this white, as you can see, to make it bright, and she's explained it all to us, the old shafts, and there's some holes here and vents there to let the air flow through, and this is just amazing. I would not have thought of anything like this was possible.
46 outside, 25 inside. Wintertime, icy outside, 20 inside. It's a very stable climate. To me, a lot of thought has gone into preparing it all and getting it all to work the way it works, and it's simplicity at its best.
If you haven't seen it, you've got to come out and look at this place. This is unbelievable.
I've been to Whitecliffs a couple of times. Opal mining is a forte there.
6 mornings a week. I go out early and work through till about 9 o'clock, and then come back and run the shop for the day. My last patch of opal that I found was October last year. Got a nice quantity of it. We'll drag that out over the next few years, make some nice pendants, the upmarket ones, you know, for a few grand sort of thing. When you find it, it's quite exciting. You get a real buzz out of it when you're digging away with a jackhammer. Ooh, hang on, there it is. They were pulling opal out literally by the tonne. In 1903, they shipped 7 tonne of opal out of Whitecliffs into Europe. I get half a coffee jar over a week or a month or something like that, and I'm on cloud 9. I'm doing so well.
Oh, mate, what a character. Gave us an insight into how opals are formed and the whole process.
The people here that have got the showrooms, they mine their own opal and they get it set into jewellery. So they've done the hard yards, they've got it out of the mine and they've turned it into jewellery.
What a good experience it was this morning, driving through that all the dugouts in Whitecliffs. You feel like you're riding on moon.
It's good to go up there and see all the slag heaps and that, and go for a wander around and just see how close they've actually dropped shafts right next to the shaft next door, hoping to get onto a nice bit of rock.
You can see how many opal mine pits there are, and still some working and some that have been long gone. Definitely well worth the trip off the beaten track to go out and back to Whitecliffs.
It is a really cool town. The community is really good. They love the tourists. They love to have a chat. It's a one pub, one shop town, and we love having people here.
From Whitecliffs, the crew heads back down the Barrier Highway and heads into Cobar.
Cobar was discovered in 1870. It's known as the Copper City. It's very well known for its mining industry as well as its pastoral industry as well. But the dominant feature in town is obviously the mines, and we're sitting on one of the iconic sites here at the moment. This used to be some of the old workings for the Great Cobar Copper Mine.
It's a great feature to the town when you're driving in, because it is really stunning when you first come in to look at it. Then you've got the big slag heaps that run behind it that you can see when you go up on top for the big viewing platform.
The open cut mine, it's still an operating mine site at the moment.
When you get up to it, you're looking down into the actual working pit itself, and you can see where they've got a track through with the moxies for coming out of the tunnel underneath. Well worth the look.
We have our own Running on Empty festival, so we're familiar with strange cars turning up here all the time.
Running on Empty Festival is to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the movie Running on Empty. It was half shot in Sydney in 1982, half shot in Cobar. And 22nd of September next year is its 40th anniversary, and we're here to celebrate it. We hope to have about 1,500 extra people in town, maybe 600 show cars, and it'll be a 4-day event. We have a show and shine on this Saturday. Fox 1, the original car from the movie, will be back out here. But we hope to have somewhere between $20 and $30 million worth of cars for 4 days.
If you get the chance, just bang it out and go old school. It is so much fun getting up in the morning, cooking bacon and eggs on a little camper.
Not everybody is into camping and those things, where I think it's the best way, because just being in touch with nature, you hear in the morning noises you have never heard in your whole life. Like at 4 o'clock, the dingoes start to make their noises and carry on, and it's noises you never heard.
You can sit round the camp with fellow like-minded people and have occasional beer or a cup of tea and talk about things that you would never have a chance to see before, and especially people from the city who don't get much over the Great Divide. I encourage them to come out into this country and have a real good hard look. I'm sure you'll be pleasantly surprised.
It doesn't matter how small or little you think the parks are, they've all had great facilities.
People don't realise what we got on our doorstep, and Australia is really the greatest country on earth.
The last stop on the Aussie Trikers Mad Max tour is Dubbo.
Total different scenery from when we were out at Whitecliffs. It's to come in from sort of a desolate country and the lush green stuff, you know, from a drought a few years ago to what's out there now. It just blows your mind, to sort of how quickly it picks up, and let's hope it stays that way too for the farmers.
Dubbo is a very, very popular tourist town in recent years. There's lots to see and do, for the whole family, for couples, for singles, for grey nomads. So the main attractions are Taronga Western Plains Zoo, and we have the old Dubbo Jail just in the main street here, just 300 metres from us. The old Dubbo Jail actually has recently done a redevelopment, so over the last 6 months, it's still obviously an old heritage site, but it's just a modern museum now. So they've got more modern signage, more mannequins, and it's really a great experience. You can actually spend up to about 2 hours in there, just exploring a bit of the history, prisoners that were there. We do have gallows and the hangman's kit as well. And what's interesting as well, the jail backs up right onto the Dubbo courthouse on the other side. And it's right in the CBD as well, which is very unusual. A lot of people don't expect that.
The cells, just eerie, very eerie. You walk in and you feel cool, feel the cold air. The exercise yards, the storage of the inmates, what they've done, what people got put in for, like horse stealing was 3 years in jail sort of thing. Yeah, it's very interesting and well worth the visit.
What's great about at the Taronga Western Plains Zoo, for example, you can actually take your cars and your trikes as well inside the zoo and ride around the circuit.
We have one of the best zoos in the world. It was the first open range zoo of this style ever in the world, and the zoo itself is huge. It takes around about 2 or 3 hours just to see it properly. People can walk around, they can cycle around it, or they can use me to take them around, and I give them an experience where we actually talk about the animals, their backgrounds, why they're endangered species, and how they can help support the zoo. This type of tour is quite unique that you cannot get anywhere else in Australia. We're the only ones that do trike tours through the zoos.
Yeah, it's great just being able to just motor through the trike on your own pace and just stop wherever you want to, take a photo and just see what ones you want to have a look at. Yeah, it's good.
Amazing how many giraffes just in one little compound just blew me mind, because you normally see one or two, but there was a whole different herd of them. They're just amazing, all of us in the row, and we could see the animals, and yeah, it was just something totally different to normal.
We did this tour around New South Wales, 2,800 kilometres on trikes. This tour can be done anyway. You can do it on your car, your push bike, your motorbike, anything you want, and do the same as us. We were spending up to $1,500 a night in each town, from food, petrol, accommodation, a couple of beers. If everyone spent $1,500 a night in each country towns, the place would be roaring.
It's been fantastic, and everyone's got on, had a good time.
Before we got into triking, I'd never really been part of any big groups. The trikes all in a row and all together, they create quite a sensation.
I guess anybody can do it on their own, but if you got a cool crew together and you get on well, it's so much more fun if you got 10 trikes and we enjoy our passion together.
Grab a pocket full of money, a camera, a big smile, go out to the countryside, check it all out. When you leave the countryside, you've got great memories in your camera, a bigger smile, and hopefully no money.